You are listening to Keep Canada Weird, a weekly weird news roundup by the Nighttime Podcast.
Handsome Aaron Airport. It's disgustingly hot here in Nova Scotia today, at least in my part of Nova Scotia. How are you making out down there in beautiful and scenic Cape Breton Island?
It's not as hot here, although we were issued a heat warning here in Cape Breton, but it didn't quite pan out for us. Okay. I don't know if it was the jet stream or the whatever would cause whatever to happen, but yeah, it was a very comfortable temperature today, and it even cooled off very early in the evening. So I'm very comfortable right now. I don't mean to brag, but
okay, no, it's fun. I love that for you. It was hot here in Halifax all day. I was looking forward to cracking open a special drink that I've had in my fridge for the last 5 days. It's literally been burning a hole in my fridge because I've been so excited to try something completely unique. Have you ever seen a drink called a Pepsi Zero Sugar Mojito flavor?
No, mojito though. That sounds great.
That's alcohol, right?
Yeah, it's a mixed kind of cocktail drink. Yeah.
Well, let's see what Pepsi does with it. I bought one of these. It was $6. It was at a specialty candy store in Halifax. I couldn't resist. Ooh, this is actually very good.
Is it really?
It's delicious.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is going to be a great episode. I'm pumped. Do you got a special drink?
I do have a special drink.
A special drink for our special night?
Yeah, it's our night. You and I, our special night. So this is a Cove soda, which I've had one other time on the show, but this is a flavor I haven't tried of Cove soda, Dr. Cove. Let's see how close to Dr. Pepper it tastes like. Oh, wow.
Like, is that a good oh wow or a...
Delicious. Oh, yeah. It's great.
Almost speechless there. Like, oh, wow, basically is speechless. Although it's expressing speechlessness in words.
Yeah, my tongue is exploding with flavor right now.
Speaking of tongues exploding with flavor and excitement, we have to get right into the stories. I'd love to chat more about weather and pops with you, but we got a big night with some game-changing Keep Canada Weird news to report. I will say right off the jump that tonight's episode is going to focus significantly on mysteries and the solving of mysteries. But before we get into that, we have to start with the news that has shook Canada to its very core. It seems our former Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, may have a relationship with a pop star turned astronaut turned back to pop star. Listen to this.
Well, a dinner date between former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and pop star Katy Perry has certainly piqued the interest of many Canadians. The two were spotted dining Monday night at a high-end restaurant in Montreal. According to TMZ, they shared the tasting menu, skipped dessert, and the former Prime Minister paid the bill. Perry is currently on tour in Canada and is performing in Montreal tonight. Representatives for Perry and Trudeau did not respond to our requests for comment.
So this is big news, and that news clip left out one important piece of information that could possibly be the smoking gun in this story, is before this alleged dinner date, they were also rumored to be seen walking through a park together in the area. What do you make of this?
Well, it has all the recipe of a romantic encounter, doesn't it?
It sure sounds like it. They're both single. They're both good-looking people.
Yeah.
Alone, together, at a bar, restaurant, sipping cocktails, and I've heard sharing some sort of a lobster dish. Yeah, that sure sounds an awful lot like a date.
Yeah. I wish our Keep Canada Romantic segment was somewhat responsible for this chance encounter between these two star-crossed lovers.
It doesn't seem it.
It doesn't. I can't connect that dot. I can't.
No, I truly didn't see this one coming. When that news broke, I, like every other Canadian, was floored, speechless. I said, oh, wow. And then I just stood there staring at my screen.
I think it makes sense, though, because he was always a pseudo celebrity because he was Canada's attractive prime minister, young and
yeah, girls love him.
Oh, of course they do. Why wouldn't you? He's a striking man, and he had become pretty much a celebrity. Katy Perry is in that world. I'm
Yeah.
sure they've crossed paths before.
Where would they
She's in
cross paths,
town.
though? That's what I was thinking. How would two people like this meet? The only thing I could think of is like some rich person has like some, or some group has like some fundraiser or something, and there's a bunch of like celebrities and politicians, and they just bump into each other. And Justin Trudeau says like, "Oh, Katy Perry, I know your music. I love the song E.T. and Teenage Dream, and this is my son Zav. He's an up and coming musician. He was actually covered on Keep Canada Weird last year." And she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh my God."
She's like, I'd never been on Keep Canada Weird. I'd love to. How would I do that?
Well, when you're in Montreal next, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we did do it.
I think we are at least 7% responsible for this.
If he wasn't going to be with Katy Perry, is there any other celebrities that you would kind of pair him up with?
I don't know the celebrity market well enough to
And when you think of celebrities, most of the ones you think of are actually too young for Justin Trudeau.
exactly, because like someone like Sabrina Carpenter comes into my mind, but she's probably too young for him.
Certainly.
And also stay away from her, Justin. I love her, so
You may love Sabrina Carpenter now at the beginning of the episode, but we may have to reignite the Keep Canada romantic segment at the end of the show because one of the stories we're going to hear tonight, I will say confidently now, is your soulmate, and you or her may not even know it yet, but we'll get to that soon. Let's move away from Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry. We just had to open that up at the beginning of the episode because if not, it would have been the elephant in the room for this entire conversation. I want to talk to you about mysteries because tonight we're going to hear about two great mysteries, but we're also going to solve a couple mysteries that we've been dragging around since episode 173 of Keep Canada Weird. We heard from Christine, who shared a voicemail with us that just made kind of an offhanded comment about getting drunk and adopting a cat. And we thought, you buried the mystery in this story. How the heck did you get drunk and adopt a cat?
how did it happen?
Well,
She had said in the voicemail, yeah, I got drunk, I bought a cat, yada, 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 but she did not give any details about how could you be around an adoptable cat when you're intoxicated?
Yeah.
Where would you be?
you want to solve that mystery right now?
There's not many mysteries we get to put the official solved stamp on this show, but this could be one of them.
Christine heard our discussion and wanted to answer the questions that we all have.
Hey guys, it's Christine. I hear you want to follow up about my drunk purchase of a cat. The short version is that I was having a long conversation with my friend, as I do on Friday nights. We have a 5 à 7, as we call them here in Quebec, and she got a new kitten. And as I got more wine, that kitten got a lot cuter. And I'm in a Facebook group of animals to give away in Quebec. And so I found a kitten while she was showing me her kitten and arranged everything, all while drunk. Next day, woke up absolutely sober, and then I'm committed. So I drove an hour and a half sober to go pick up this cat, and that is how I drunk purchased a cat.
So I think we did guess, right, that there was the possibility she was walking home and saw a cat shelter and went in and got a cat. The other thing that we speculated was that she was like home looking at like Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace or similar. That turns out to be it. She was in a Facebook group. Sounds like the world's saddest Facebook group, but she found love there.
Well, I don't know if that sounds sad to me. I think that's a great place to hang out and get a cat.
A Facebook group of people giving away kittens isn't as sad as people giving away full-grown cats because every like cat up for adoption probably has the sad story as their background. And if you just have a group of just that, yes, it's an important place, but it is a sad place.
Well, certainly if a cat can't find a home on there, that would be very depressing, especially an older cat who may not have many good years left in them.
Well, you're breaking my heart, man.
Well, I'm just saying the reality of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's true. But I guess it's not as incredible of an explanation as we may have imagined, but I'm glad to put that one to bed. But I'm also surprised to learn that Christine isn't the only person to get a cat while they're drunk. We had a listener named Nancy, and her father actually would drink often and bring home animals. Listen to this.
Okay.
This is Nancy. I am calling from British Columbia, and I just listened to your podcast, episode 172, about Christine from Montreal getting drunk and bringing home a cat. Being drunk and bringing home cats reminds me of my father, who was a member of the Legion. And he would come home so many times with animals, dogs and cats. But my dad was a huge animal lover, as we all were. I can totally relate to her.
So I get being an animal lover, but and I also can understand being a member of a legion. But I have a hard time understanding how those two things result in him often coming home having drank alcohol with animals, both cats and dogs. What was your father up to all these years?
Well, I'm sure there was probably stray cats that would hang out outside the Legion, and I imagine he would pick them up and take them home. It's
Often.
every day. And the issue here is that, an animal lover, intoxicated, bringing home animal after animal. You may love animals, but you only have so much love to give. And then if you have too many animals, then the love is spread very thin. So I would caution any other intoxicated listeners out there, which I'm sure a deal of you are. I encourage you not to bring home every animal that you trip over.
Good advice. And I also, to speak to all the listeners out there, some may be drinking while they're listening to us, but some may be going through some tough stuff. If our show brings you a little bit of comfort while you're going through some of the harder parts of life, that makes us feel great. I'm saying this specifically in response to an email I got this week. If you're out there, you know who you are, and thank you for that email. And our condolences to everything you're going through. And we're glad our show could be there to help. But with that said, and that behind us, let's get into our first segment of stories. We're going to be breaking down two mysteries. One involves some camera equipment, and one involves a series of strange signs. We're going to get right into them after a short break. Handsome Aaron Airport, we got two Canadian mysteries to break down. The first one is going to involve an Ontario woman's $2,500 camera lens that turned out to not be what she thought. Let me set it up this way. An Ontario woman named Victoria thought she scored an online deal when she bought a high-end refurbished camera lens from Canon Canada. But when the shipment arrived, she found herself in the center of a frustrating mystery. Instead of a camera lens, she got a bunch of staples in a camera lens box. And yes, this is going to be one of those stories that involves the need to go on the news to get a refund. Here is the case of the staple-filled camera lens box.
I was completely shocked. I didn't know what to do.
Victoria Schell of Maple says her hobby is photography and she recently wanted to upgrade to a more advanced camera lens. She found one online at Canon Canada's website. The lens was part of a damaged box sale and was selling for just over $2,500. When the shipment arrived, she was shocked when she opened it up.
The box was supposed to contain a Canon EF 24-70mm lens, and instead there was a box of Boss-Stitch staples.
Schell contacted Canon to say what happened and sent them photos of what she received.
The lens was inspected in the facility, so by the time it left the facility, everything was intact.
Schell says while the outside box was sealed, the box for the camera lens had been opened.
There is no safety seal.
The box of staples was the same weight as what the camera lens would be. Following an investigation, Schell was told she would not be getting a refund.
I'm completely heartbroken. I'm really upset.
2 years ago, we did a similar story with the Madkin family of Brampton. They ordered a laptop and received 2 books instead.
Did you need this book?
I don't need that. So someone have opened the box and they put the books with the same weight. Looks like a MacBook.
With CTV's help, the family got a refund. CTV News also reached out to Canon Canada, and a spokesperson said the package did match the weight that would be expected for the lens model purchased. However, it appears the package may have been tampered with after departing our facility. We are currently in the process of issuing a refund to the customer for the cost of the lens. That was great news for Schell. She has now received her refund and plans to buy a new lens in person at a camera store.
I think that's like a cautionary tale about a few things. One, I guess, about buying refurbished items. That would mean, for people unfamiliar with the word, that would mean something generally that's either had a problem and then was repaired and resold, or something that was just simply returned and resold. Generally, when you're buying something refurbished, it's been checked out to make sure that everything is all right before it's sold. But in this case, well, maybe it's just a coincidence that it was a refurbished item because the manufacturer was saying it was fine when it left our warehouse, but it's a pretty big coincidence that it wasn't new to begin with. It was refurbished. So it would have had to have been opened and stuff anyway.
Yeah, I do think that is a coincidence because it left packaged,
Yeah.
right? And the package was then opened after it left Canon some point during the process between when it left the factory to when it got to the customer. Somebody got to it, but here's the thing, like, amazes me about this story and similar stories is that somebody has to know that those staples equal the weight of that lens. So the person taking it has to know that lens is in there and how much it weighs. So at what point in time does this individual know about this lens, that it's been shipped, that it's left the factory, and they go and find an object, which is a box of staples that matches the weight? So no suspicion.
Yeah, and is the right size so it can slide in the box for the camera lens. And that's what leads me to think like it must have been in like the factory, because if it was, let's say if a delivery person or something wanted to steal it, you would think they would just steal the box or report it missing or, do something like that. To actually open it and start doing like this Indiana Jones kind of thing with the weight and stealing a camera lens, it doesn't strike me as something that a courier or a delivery driver would do. It seems more like someone in the factory or in a factory that's involved with the refurbishing, which is like taking it out of the box, making sure it's not damaged, putting it back in. That would be someone who would have some time, you would think, to open it and hold it. Maybe have some privacy and be able to do something like this.
It has to be the person who checked off on the sheet of paper that everything was in the package and it was good to go. So whoever that person is the person responsible, I think.
Yeah, it seems it. And what about the whole needing to go on the news to get your money back? That's a reoccurring theme. If you follow Canadian news or American news for that matter, or probably any news in the world the way we do, it seems like if it's not a cut and dry case, the company or the water company or the retailer or whoever says no, you complain, they still say no, you go on the news calls them, and then they say yes. It happens so often.
Yeah, it does. It happens all the time. And it's exactly what I'm going to do if I'm ever wronged by a company in any way, shape, or form, even if it's completely my fault and I'm totally responsible for the issue. I'm still going to the news, and I'm getting my money back.
It's called customer service via public shaming. And it seems like nowadays in this world of quicker, cheaper, and easier customer service, when people say customer service, what they're talking about and thinking about generally is something that doesn't even exist anymore in the majority of the businesses we frequent. But you will get that kind of traditional customer service if you are able to publicly shame the company, it seems. And it's sad that it's come to that, but that's the world we're in. The mystery here is who swapped the staples. You have a theory. One thing I do think is that Victoria, the woman who got scammed or whatever the right word, defrauded or stolen from, I don't think she was involved. She seemed very sincere. I don't think it would have been nice if she had a video of the package being dropped off at her house and her opening it to show she had nothing to do with it. But I don't suspect her at all.
Do you think the news outlet that covered the story is responsible? and this is how they're creating stories.
Fake news. It's possible. No, I don't think so, because this story doesn't seem completely manufactured to me. One reason why is if you watch the video version or see the thumbnail that's used for this story, you'll notice that the photographer who bought the camera lens that got scammed, she's beautiful. The photo of her that's used is
wait, hold on.
She is beautiful. Objectively, she's beautiful. But the photo that's used of her, like it is her holding the camera lens box, looking upset, which would be the right kind of layout for a thumbnail for this story. But the lighting and the makeup and everything is perfect. And she's a photographer, so I'm sure that she took that photo herself and gave it to the news. I didn't find an image credit, but I don't believe it's CTV News. I don't believe they took the photo. I think it's one she did herself.
So are we both going to fall in love in this episode? Is that what's happening?
No, that's not an opinion. If anyone looks at this story, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's a really nice photo of like someone who kind of looks like a model.
Okay. You were at the top of the show where like there's somebody in one of the stories that we'll look at later that's perfect for Aaron, yada, yada, yada. But here we are.
Am I blushing a bit?
With this woman who takes photos.
If you're out there, Victoria, I'm glad you got your camera lens money back. And let's move on from this one. Mystery 1 is down. Let's move on to Mystery 2. This is a bit more playful. This is a fun mystery. It's definitely a Keep Canada Weird mystery. I'll call this segment Bubba Sucks at Fishing. A Manitoba man keeps finding roadside signs mocking his fishing skills, but instead of getting hooked by the prank, he reeled it into a community fundraiser. What started as a mystery troll job ended up outfitting dozens of kids with brand new fishing gear. Here's the story of all those signs telling Bubba that he sucks at fishing.
Well, if you've been driving around the Morden and Winkler area, you may have noticed some signs calling out someone named Bubba for their poor angling skills. The witty signs are all a little different, but one thing stays the same. Nearly all say, Bubba sucks at fishing. Bubba, whose real name is Steve Peters, says the sign started popping up a year ago, and he still has no idea who is behind it.
There's a long list of possible suspects. But I haven't been able to pinpoint it yet. The fun part about it is not knowing who it is. I think that kind of adds the mystery to the whole thing.
Buddy is taking it all in stride and has even turned it into a good cause. He's been using the publicity to sell Bubba Sucks at Fishing t-shirts, raising money through social media to buy fishing gear for kids. So far, he's raised enough to buy rods and tackle for 8 children.
Wow.
But the real question is, Colleen, does Bubba actually suck at fishing? Well, he tells us he's not as bad as those signs would lead you to believe.
I love how he has a long list of potential suspects.
Yes.
What's going on, Bubba?
Yeah, why, Bubba?
Bubba sucks at fishing signs. A harmless prank or something more sinister? What say you, Aaron?
Well, it does have the smell of a harmless prank. It seems somebody who's very close to our friend's Bubba. Is his name?
Bubba. Yeah, it is. Bubba.
Okay. Yeah. Someone very close to Bubba is putting these signs up. But the investment financially into this to market the lack of fishing skills that Bubba has on these magnetic signs, that's expensive.
Yeah. And to explain to listeners what they mean by signs, this isn't like something they printed out of their computer and they're nailing to or taping to telephone poles. These are like the large roadside signs that you would have to rent probably by the month. And what they're putting on the sign, some of them simply say like, Bubba sucks at fishing. Some of them have little jokes like, there are 2 types of people in the world. 1, people who can fish. 2, Bubba. You know, things like this. So someone is actually paying for these signs. So I think all he has to do is to narrow down a suspect is which friend has disposable income and also fishes with you, and has a weird sense of humor,
or just simply call the company that owns those signs and say, who is doing this?
Like those signs are about me. Could you just get the police involved?
Yeah. Simply get a police officer to call the company and say, who is renting out the magnetic signs to say Bubba sucks at fishing?
Well, like, do you think he should press charges if they identify him?
I think he should publicly shame them as part of the whole prank back and forth. So then the news can come back to Bubba's house now that he has found the culprit. And then Bubba could show their picture on the air and say, this is the individual who has publicly embarrassed me about my fishing skills. And you know what else he should do is he should videotape himself fishing, and let's all decide for ourselves who sucks.
I'm ignorant for the most part of fishing, but can you suck at it? Like, isn't it 90% luck? In the other 10% equipment?
No, it's a definite skill. It's a definite skill.
So let's say if you have 100 people, 10 of them are professional fishermen. The other 90 have watched a 1-hour video giving a crash course on how to fish.
Mhm.
They all have the same equipment. You bring them all to the same lake and put them in a circle around the lake, and they all start fishing. Would the 10 professionals bring in more fish than the other people who've only had that 1-hour crash course?
I believe so. Now, you would probably have some people who took the crash course that naturally excel at fishing. They just have a knack for it. But I guarantee the professionals are absolutely catching more fish.
I wonder.
Well, here's the other question I have. Does anybody care what the fish think about this whole thing? Because they're the ones that are getting caught, and they're the ones whose lives are at stake here.
Yeah, and they get caught in such a brutal way. I'm thinking, comparing to other animals that are preyed upon by humans, I guess a deer has a rough go too, because they don't die instantly. I think any animal that doesn't die instantly, it's kind of brutal. But a fish especially, the hook to the mouth, being pulled out of the water into this other world where you just, I guess, I don't know what they die from. I guess they die from the lack of, I was going to say oxygen, but there'd be too much oxygen. I don't know what a fish actually dies of. Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I haven't thought that much about it, unfortunately, which I feel bad about.
You don't think about this often? I think they do die of lack of oxygen because they don't breathe oxygen the way we do.
Or they get their oxygen through the water.
Yeah, through their gills and stuff. So we have lungs so
Yeah.
we can breathe up here.
So it's like them drowning, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like, yeah. So I guess that's a bad way to go.
But a lot of people do throw the fish back. They just fish for sport. They catch them, pull them up, take a photo, throw it back in.
But that also sucks for the fish. Imagine, like, you get a hook to the mouth.
I don't think they feel that way. So I don't know enough about it to really say.
Okay.
But certainly I think we do need to take the fish's opinion into account considering this story, because they are involved. They are an active player in this whole thing.
That's one side of the story that's really silent here, as we didn't shine a bright light on that. I would like to know what Bubba did to deserve all this. I think it's a harmless prank, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, he's going to find out as soon as he figures out who it is. He's going to know exactly what he did to deserve it, because he probably slept with somebody's wife.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty high chance.
It's what else would garner such a visceral response towards his fishing skills?
It's a good point. Mystery solved, but that is not the only mystery we're going to be solving tonight. Our final mystery, and this also harkens back to something we discussed on a prior episode. You remember the young woman named Tylo who went on a first date with a guy who brought a pigeon?
I do remember that. Another story that we were dying to know more about.
Yeah, we wanted to know if there was a second date. Tylo didn't send in a voice message to answer that question, but she did send an email. She says, "Hey, it's me, the pigeon date girl. Thanks for including me on the podcast. It made my day, if not month. I thought I'd let you know the answers to your questions. First, there was no second date. And how I got out of it? I had to make an excuse to leave the pigeon date prematurely. I told him my roommate was going through a breakup, so I needed to get home immediately and support her." Then Tylo says, "I also included a fun video of said pigeon for your enjoyment. I can't air it here because you're listening to the podcast. The video mainly has no sound. It's just like a 3-second video of almost like a candlelit table with 2 fancy drinks on it. Obviously the date. And then there's just a pigeon standing there next to one of the cocktail glasses."
No way.
Yeah.
So it's funny because when you're on a date, normally you just have to worry about like catching gonorrhea, but now you have to worry about catching bird flu.
God, that's a nice thought. It's a ticket for no second date. Certainly bringing a pigeon, but at least now we know she is not married to the guy who brought the pigeon on the first date. With that said, our mystery segment is behind us. We can take our second break, and when we get back, we got some wild ones. We're going to hear about the person that I think is probably your soulmate. She's the trashiest lady in Montreal as well.
Hey.
And we're going to hear about, I don't know if I would call it Canada's weirdest biker gang or Canada's dumbest trio of criminals, but we'll get to that story right after this break. Aaron, this may be the dumbest Canadian criminals we've discussed. Let me set it up this way. Police in Nipissing First Nation recently busted a suspected drug trafficking operation after stopping a trio of men pedaling around on bicycles, towing a trailer. Here's the story of the drug trafficking e-bikers.
Anishinaabe Police Service seized $23,000 in drugs in Nipissing First Nation. Police say they were conducting a traffic stop of 3 individuals on pedal and electric bicycles, one of which was towing a trailer. Officers searched the trio and trailer, finding cash and a variety of illicit drugs. A 43-year-old man is now facing several charges.
So the news report is short and sweet, but if you let that scene play out in your mind, it's quite crazy. So there's 3 guys. They're on either bicycles or e-bikes. E-bike is the silliest type of bicycle as far as appearances go. Somehow they're towing a trailer. The police approach them and find that the trailer is full of, this isn't like them carrying around a bunch of marijuana. It's full of like hard drugs. I'll read you a bit of what they found. The search of the bike trailer uncovered 70 grams of carfentanil, 26 grams of crystal meth, 5 grams of fentanyl, 28 grams of cocaine, 6 hydromorphone tablets, and 356 hydromorphine tablets. Also seized was $6,200 in cash, a digital scale, a silver baton, and bear spray. So they're literally carrying around like a pharmacy on a trailer on e-bikes on a First Nation reserve.
So this is another circumstance where the weapon of choice here is bear spray. Similar to that story that we covered with in the bar where I think it was in BC.
Yeah, you're right. Bear spray, I think it's more common out west to be used as a offense and defense weapon.
Yeah.
These guys with the trailer and the bicycles, do you have anything to say? Is this a dumb Canadian crime, or is this a reasonable entrepreneurial setup?
It is a reasonable entrepreneurial setup. It's just the logistics, transportation is the only issue here. They just don't have an effective mode of transportation. They need to invest into some assets that they're able to ride in more effectively.
Yeah, you would think. I feel like if I'm involved in trafficking like Oxycontin and meth and cocaine and all this stuff, I want it to be like Scarface. Like I should have a mansion and tons of money and whatever I want because I'm doing this bad, dangerous, risky thing and I need a huge reward. But if I'm doing that and at the same time I'm on an e-bike with this little trailer, I'd be like, you know what? Like I don't think this is worth it for me. If I can't at least have like a chauffeur driving me around as I'm doing this, it's like it's not worth it.
How old are they again?
These guys are in their 40s.
Yeah. It reeks of like really young drug dealers in their teens because these are low level people. Because $6,200 is not a lot of money to be carrying around if you are a high level drug dealer. So these people are very low on the totem pole. They're just getting started out, it sounds like. Give them a couple years, get their infrastructure set up more effectively, and they'll have cars.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think this may have been a pretty big setback, actually.
A setback, but they'll dust themselves off, and then they'll get back out onto the streets, and they will get cars.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we'll have to follow up with this story, but let's move on to the story of the trashiest lady in Montreal. I love this story. I saved it for last. When this story came across my Keep Canada Weird desk, the first thing I did was email you, and I said, Aaron, I found her. I found your soulmate. Let's meet her. And for anyone who listens to the show regularly, they're going to know a lot of stuff you're very passionate about. Top of the list is cats. Second seems to be walks. Like you're always telling me about, Aaron, what'd you do today? I went for a long walk. What's going on tonight? I'm home with my cat, Ken Tiggs. I love cats, and I loved going on a walk earlier. Those are things for you.
Mm-hmm.
When I found this story and the way they tie into it, I think anyone listening is going to say, Aaron, reach out to Carolina. Let me set it up this way. Carolina Yanez, known on social media as the Trashy Lady, has turned her love for walks, cats, and clean places into a full-blown community movement. Here's the story of the trashiest lady in Montreal.
If you frequent parks in the Plateau, there's a good chance you've crossed paths with Carolina Yanez, or at least her alter ego, Trashy Lady. Yanez is on a mission to clean up Montreal and raise money for the SPCA along the way. After work 3 days a week, she heads out with her donation bin, a big sign, and her trash picker, which she's named Carmen. She's already collected thousands of pieces of garbage and documents the journey on social media.
I'm a corporate girly by day and a trash picker by night.
Alongside the cleanup clips, she posts videos of her cats, the driving force behind her initiative. Originally from Ecuador, Yanez moved to Montreal at 17 for university. She faced a wave of homesickness, pressure to succeed, and struggles with her mental health. So she and her brother adopted a cat, something to love in a hard time.
After studying for so many hours, I would just bury my head on her belly, and they smell so good. It's just fills my life.
Being stuck inside all day for her office job, Yanez says she needs time outdoors. But one thing kept bothering her.
There was so much trash.
So she decided to do something about it, and Trashy Lady was born.
I get a dopamine hit from every trash I pick up.
Strangers don't just donate, some even lend a hand. Through this project, Yanez found a way to connect to her community and give back to a cause that's deeply personal.
I really think the SPCA is a beautiful organization, and especially it gave me my cat.
That's a feel-good story. To turn picking up trash, which is a thing that's good for the community, into a way to give back even further by supporting financially the SPCA. I love that story. That's what I mean when I say like finding a unique way to keep Canada weird. I think she did it.
I agree. It's a wonderful story. There's a lot going on in it. There's the walking, and there's the litter, and then there's the cats. So there's three prongs to this story.
This is also one of the many stories we talked about where someone found a way to do something unique and get some attention on social media. Oftentimes it's negative, but sometimes it's a positive thing. And she has turned picking up trash into this like kind of clickable, encouraging social media thing. I found her Instagram account. Like that news clip says, it's just her like going around collecting trash and showing off what she's collected. If that motivates her to keep doing it and motivates people to donate financially to the SPCA, that's it's all working. There's so much wrong in the world. When someone can kind of find a unique way to put some things together and make something good happen, I like that.
Yeah. Should I record a Keep Canada Romantic right now for Carolina?
Do you think you got it in you? Are you feeling it? Like, and was I right? It's hitting a lot of the boxes.
Yeah, she's ticked a lot of the boxes for me. So
she may listen, so let's do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Carolina, this is Aaron Airport here from Keep Canada Weird. I just want to submit this as my Keep Canada Romantic profile, specifically for you. So I love to go on walks. I went for a walk today in a trail that was really nice. And I was walking my mother. She's not a cat, but we did pick up a little bit of trash. And I love cats. My cat's name is Ken Tiggs. He's the light of my life. He's the center of my world. And he's looking for a new mom. He's been asking me for a new mom for a while.
You went in swinging. If she does hear this, I think she'll have a hard time not hopping on the next airplane to Keep Canada Weird headquarters here in Parts Unknown.
Yeah.
I love that story. This was a big night of Keep Canada Weirding, starting off with the Prime Minister maybe dating a pop star turned astronaut, going through the mysteries that we solved one after the other. We have the dumb Canadian criminals. We then have the story of Aaron's soulmate, the trashiest lady of Montreal. There's only one great way to go out here, and that's with a very special story regarding seniors eating ice cream. We heard your Keep Canada romantic profile. We're now going to hear my seniors eating ice cream story. I had the opportunity to sit down with one of the lights of my life, my sweet grandmother. I call her Nanny Teresa. And I pulled out the microphone and I asked her a couple questions about her interest in ice cream and the ice cream interests of some of her friends at the seniors' home. Listen in on my discussion with Nanny Teresa. Can you hear me okay, Nanny?
Yeah.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yes.
95.
95.
Almost.
And you live in a senior's home, right?
Yeah.
Do they treat you good there?
Yeah.
Do they feed you good?
Oh, yeah.
But what about like desserts? Do you get good desserts?
Too many.
Too many. Do you ever get ice cream?
Oh, every day.
Does all the seniors, do all the seniors like the ice cream?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They all do.
What's your favorite kind?
Don't care what it is. I eat them all.
Pick one. Maple walnut?
Oh, yes. Maple walnut. Love it. We don't get that. Oh.
What do they give you?
You eat chocolate or vanilla or strawberry.
Okay.
And we get yogurt. A lot of yogurt. Every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Are there any other treats you like? Cookies?
I'm not too struck on cookies.
Ice cream's better?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Something cold.
I love you, Nani.
Oh, I love you too, dear. I always did.
You always will.
What?
And you always will, I hope.
Yes, sir.
That is my my sweet 95-year-old Nani Teresa. You've met her, Aaron, many times, right?
Oh, I've met her. Yes, quite a few times.
And she's doing great. Other than her hearing, at 95 years old, my goodness, I hope I have her genetics. She's the sweetest lady, and you can still just sit and talk with her. Again, other than her being able to hear, like you have to repeat yourself a lot, but aside from that, you can carry on a conversation. And she has like a great sense of humor and picks up on sarcasm right away. So when we sit together, I'm just like joke with her the whole time, and she gets it. But yeah, she loves ice cream.
Should we call out the nursing home for a lack of variety in their ice cream flavors?
I was going to, but I thought a bit about it. I was thinking, why don't they just get these people maple walnut? And it could be a few things. One, I'm thinking like a lot of these people at the seniors home are like, mid, late 90s. For one, could be a choking hazard, couldn't it? Walnuts and stuff in ice cream. And the other thing is, so many people are allergic to nuts. You'd have to like consider that when you're feeding ice cream to like 120 people who probably don't know their medical history.
Yeah. That's all valid points, I'm sure, but there's got to be other ice cream flavors they can dabble in that are safe. I mean, if they're just eating vanilla or strawberry over and over again.
Yeah, vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. And I'll tell you, my 95-year-old Nani Teresa, she worked too hard her whole life to be spending out her moonlight years eating 3 flavors of ice cream. You heard it in her voice. That's a woman who loves ice cream.
I heard the sadness and despair in her voice when she brought up the only 3 flavors that she gets. Essentially, they're just slicing up a Neapolitan there, and would you say this is abuse, or what do you think?
Elder abuse. It could be abuse, but could also be manipulation. I think it's maybe it's just the state of the world, and maybe as one of her loved ones, I should step up a bit and maybe bring her some new flavors of ice cream every now and then when I visit and document. Maybe we could start like an ice cream review channel with my grandmother. She'd do that.
I'd love that. Yeah. And I think we need to look deeper into this conspiracy, this situation.
A conspiracy of silence. You hear that a lot?
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy of silence. And at this point, we haven't reached out to them yet, but it's still fair to say that the senior citizens home hasn't said anything or addressed this issue. And here's something that people also say. And their silence is deafening.
Absolutely. I agree with you, and I think we need to move on this very fast.
Do you find that the term or the phrase silence is deafening is like overused? I feel like every day I hear someone say someone's silence is deafening.
Yeah, it could be overused. Like the fish, I haven't thought much about that, though, to be honest.
Okay, it's been eating away at me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But with that done, but with all this behind us, your dating profile, my grandmother's ice cream waxing poeticness, I think we can put a bow on this episode. I think we did it here.
I think we did.
Handsome Aaron Airport, until next time.
Jordan, bus stop, backhoe, Bonaparte, until next time.
Revisit some of Katy Perry's music. When you think of her now, like her star has really tarnished over the last 5 or 10 years, but during 2014 to 2018-ish, that era, she just had a string of hits. She was a huge star, and I don't know what changed, but it seems like 2025 isn't very kind to Katy Perry.
And Jordan, until next time, when I become a drug dealer, I promise you, I'm going to use my car.
I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. If you got a news story from your area that you'd like to share with us, or have any thoughts or theories or opinions on anything we discussed tonight, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact us by using the voice recorder that can be found at nighttimepodcast.com/contact. And on that topic, I want to give a big thank you to this episode's correspondents. If your voice message was aired tonight, you can email me your address. My email is nighttimepodcast@gmail.com, and I'll get a Keep Canada Weird badge and swag pack sent out to you. I just ask that you wear the badge proudly and responsibly. Next, a big thanks goes out to Aaron for another great night, Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data for the outro version of O Canada. And then, of course, a sincere and massive thank you goes out to each and every one of you listening. Your support makes this show possible. And if you'd like to support the show even more, please consider a subscription to the premium feed, which can be found at nighttimepodcast.com/subscribe. The premium feed costs just a couple dollars a month, but that money will fund the creation of new episodes of the show, and it'll give you those episodes 2 days early, ad-free, and access to a back catalog of episodes. And even if you don't want to go premium, you can still support the show by sharing this episode on social media. That helps a lot too, and it's free. Your support is very much appreciated. So with all that said, until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and together, let's keep Canada weird.
Keep Canada Weird is written, hosted, and produced by the Nighttime Podcast.
And now to our viewers and listeners everywhere. Good night.
When you mentioned the story of something happening outside a bar, I just popped into my head remember the story? I think it was in Saskatchewan, maybe it was Manitoba. A guy was at a bar drunk, being rowdy. The bouncers took him down face first on the ground outside. His pants fell down and his private part froze to the ground.
His private part.
You know which one.
Normally it's plural, though, because, there's a few things down there.
Yeah, but only one of them froze.
But you say private part. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't his butt.
Which is private.
Yeah.
But what about did his testicles also stick to the ground?
Oh, so we're defining private parts. When I say private parts on a male, I'm talking 1 is his butt, 2 is his exterior reproductive organs, the entire system.
I consider it, the penis is 1, testicle 1 is 2, testicle 2 is 3, and the butthole, and just the butthole.
Oh my God. So that
is 4.
A male has, okay. All right. Well,
those are the private parts.
Okay. Well, interesting. Everyone's a little different.